By the early 1980s, over 1,000 Vietnamese families had arrived in West Michigan to start new lives. As refugees from a conflict-torn country, being delivered to a strange place with an unfamiliar culture and a very different climate was both a lifeline and an existential challenge. Unlike other immigrant groups who could join communities with familiar foods, language, and faith practices, these newcomers had to start their new lives with nothing that was familiar. Every immigrant tale is unique, yet they share some common milestones: the need to leave, the journey, arrival and struggle, adapting, and finally, making the new place their new homeland. Every immigrant, every refugee, starts out a stranger hoping to be welcomed. To extend welcome, it helps to know some background. The stories that follow are not so much about how these newcomers got here, as they tell you about what propelled their journey. With the fall of Saigon, anyone affiliated with the military or the U.S. military was required to report to re-education camps. The fear of retribution and imprisonment was real.
Có lẽ đó là cái chuyện đau buồn nhất của đời tôi, mà cho tôi cũng xin ngắn gọn. Sau khi Sài Gòn thất thủ, có một điều tôi rất buồn là tôi không hiểu lý do tại sao mà tôi có hỏi ông là tại sao ông không đi, thì ông nói rằng ông không thể bỏ lính tráng và đàn em của ông được. Rồi sau đó ông phải ra trình diện để theo lời kêu gọi của tụi Việt Cộng như các bạn của ổng. Khi thôi cho tôi gọi là vào tù đi. Sau khi vào tù được ít lâu thì tôi mới nhận được một lá thư đầu tiên của chồng tôi. Rồi mỗi tháng tôi vẫn liên tục nhận được một lá thơ như vậy, cho đến khoảng 3-4 tháng. Và sau đó, các bạn của tôi được đi thăm chồng, còn tôi thì không được. Tôi bặt tin anh khoảng 3-4 tháng. Tôi không biết như thế nào. Chồng tôi về kêu tôi nói tụi nó bắn anh rồi. Khoảng gần 1 năm sau tôi mới được tin. Nhưng mà khi đi là chồng tôi lấy cái địa chỉ của mẹ tôi ở Sài Gòn á, thì khoảng gần 1 năm sau chúng mới báo tin. Chúng đem cái bản án của anh, mà chúng làm dữ lắm. Công an phường, công an huyện, công an thành phố Sài Gòn đồ loại làm dữ lắm. Bắt mẹ tôi phải ký nhận cái bản án của ảnh, bởi vì mẹ tôi nhận cái bản án mà không có dám cho tôi biết, mà cũng không có nói với tôi là chồng tôi đã chết rồi nữa.
Back in 1969, my dad through a contract organization. He came over to Vietnam for 6 months, and that's how he met my mom. It was at the kind of like a restaurant, a bar where my mom was working at as a waitress. Even though it's just a short period of time, but she ended up getting pregnant and ended up having me. Based on what she told me, my dad had already left like 2-3 months prior to that. So I never get a chance to be able to see my dad, or he never got a chance to see me. As you can see, I look a lot different than other friends of mine who are completely 100% Vietnamese, because I have the look more of my dad. And that makes it really hard for me, because I was kind of like singled out in the classroom or even in the neighborhood. I was easily get targeted by friends and by neighborhood kids. Some day, if they're on good mood, they'll hang out with me, and other day, if they're not on good mood, I would become a target for them. They bully on me, and they start using a lot of like bad words to suppress me down along with my mom, like reputation down. So that was really negative effect when I was a childhood there.
Thì các cái trại cải tạo mà chúng gọi là trại tập trung cải tạo đó, là chỉ là những nhà tù mà, chứ không phải là trại cải tạo. Bởi vì vào trong đó tất cả mọi anh em chúng tôi là những sĩ quan đều có học thức, đều có văn hóa. Thế mà bị những tên lính nó chửi rủa, nó đánh đập, rồi nó bắt đi lao động khổ sai hàng ngày, bất kể mưa nắng gì. Rồi vấn đề mà anh em bị bệnh hoạn, không có thuốc men gì cả. Cơm đã không đủ ăn, phải ăn bo, ăn khoai mì, và ăn những cái thực phẩm mà rau cỏ mình kiếm được ăn thêm thôi, cũng rất nhiều. Và đói, thiếu ăn và bệnh là chết cũng nhiều lắm. Có thể nói là chết 1/3 cái số mà anh em chúng tôi đi cải tạo. Tôi mới viết một cái lá thơ nho nhỏ khi được bà vợ tôi đến thăm nuôi á. Thì tôi bảo nếu mà tôi đi trước thì bà cứ tìm cách vượt biên đi, hoặc là ở nhà mà tìm cách vượt biên đi để tụi tôi sẽ được đi qua Mỹ sau. Tôi giấu cái bức thư nho nhỏ ở trong cái hột quẹt Zippo. Thì tụi nó có một người đi trước, nó bắt được rồi, đến tôi là người thứ hai, cho nên nó biết tẩy. Nó mở cái cục quẹt Zippo ra, nó lấy lá thơ. Và lập tức nó không có cho tôi thăm nuôi nữa, mà nó tống tôi vô cái cái container, cái thùng sắt mà Mỹ nó hay chở đồ tiếp liệu đi đó. Chỉ có được thấy một cái lằn ánh sáng dài xíu ở chỗ cánh cửa nó hở thôi, chứ còn ngoài ra không có lỗ thông hơi, không có gì hết. Thì ban ngày nó nóng kinh khủng luôn, mà đất Sài Gòn nó nóng phải trên 40 độ ban ngày. Còn ban đêm thì nó lại lạnh thấu xương luôn, vì không có đủ mền chiếu gì đắp á. Mà tôi bị nhốt ở đó 15 ngày, không khác gì là một địa ngục trần gian hồi đó.
My grandmother, I still remember her. I love her so much. And it's a little funny. He called me and said, "Kid, you look so ugly. You different from your brother and sister. In my family, I'm the ugly one." So my grandma just say strictly like that. Say, you have to do something. You have to do better something. You have to learn the way to talk, make the impression, the people. And you can learn some entertainment. So, you may have, a girlfriend, or you can get married in the future. I say, okay. So I study, I go to study, play, guitar. And I start, go to group and learning how to talk. When I start that, I really, really like it. I watch a lot of movie, and my dream is to become like a movie star or director or the filmmaker. I very love it. But the communist is broke my dream.
We escaped by boat. I live in Saigon, born and grew up in Saigon. But when I moved around to find a place to live after 1975, I got another skill with the diesel mechanic, so I can fix the boat. The reason I escaped with him because he planned for different people with him, but by the time departure, they wasn't there. So I'm the one to fill in there for helping him with the boat from Vietnam to Thailand. She knows this is not a conversation because when I was on that boat helping him, and we don't know the chance I stay in Vietnam or I got on the boat. She just stay right there, look at me until the boat disappear, and I on the boat and look at her until I cannot see her no more. When I go on the boat escape, I don't think I ever see them again because the government don't let me to come back because at that time they say escape the country they consider a traitor and never go back again.
Mẹ tôi mới xin công an phường là cho mẹ tôi đi lấy cốt con. Khi nhìn cái hài cốt đúng của chồng tôi không dám nhìn. Nó bắn bể cái đầu vậy nè cô, còn cái ngực áo cũng vậy, bắn bể nát cái đầu nát ngực. Nhưng mà tôi nhìn được cái sợi dây thắt lưng lính của anh đó. Tôi lấy cốt về rồi thiêu rồi để trong chùa rồi Sài Gòn đó cô. Khi tôi đi đó thì còn đứa con gái cho nên tôi để lại. Và sau này mà khi con gái tôi nó đi luôn đó, nó mang ba tôi nó theo để ở dưới chùa Linh Sơn này nè cô, tại đây nè.
So back in 1975, Reverend Howard Skipper went to President Ford and asked for some funding to resettle refugees into Grand Rapids. I believe he had asked for enough funding for 100 families. And through word of mouth, it ended up, I believe, like 1,000 families came to Grand Rapids through this program. And that's how we ended up here.
My parents, they escaped from the communists from the North Vietnam to the South Vietnam in 1954. So my mother, she told me, we cannot live with the communists. So my parents let me escape Vietnam early on 1983. When we go out to the sea and we count, we got 154 people. And the boat just supposed to like around 50 people. We have to throw all the big barrel of water, throw overseas. Otherwise, the boat will be sink. All the food we repair, we throw out. We went to overseas about 5 days and 6 nights because the boat too small and so many people. So we have to divide the bottom and the middle and the top, and we try to rotate around. And the first day, anybody throw up and all kind of the top of people, they do everything go to down, and the bottom people get everything. When we go over there, and absolutely we are desperate. We don't know where we're going, and we just look around, say, where the land? And finally we see it. We see the land. You know how happy we are when we see the land like that. We say, oh, thanks God. Anybody from, if you are from Catholic, you pray for Catholic. Somebody from Buddha, they pray, they say, you know, thank God, you know, we alive. When we land into the city named Penang in Malaysia. They keep us over there for, I think, 3 days, and then they transfer us to the Kuala Lumpur, and then from Kuala Lumpur they ship us to the island named Pulau Bidong, and we live to the Pulau Bidong, and we build a house there and live there. They call the refugee over there.
Take 3 days and 3 nights to go from one place to the other, and they got pirates too. Pirates robbed us and took all their belonging, money, gold, and finally, nothing to drop. They robbed the boat. They left all 19 people on the island. Nobody lived there, and they raped the women and girls. That's so sad story. Now even remember for a long time, but still make me cry. I was on that island for 3 days, finally, we saw the Navy ship come over for something. Then we got the fires going with the flag to fly the shirt, red shirt, and wave them. So they come in with the little boat to see what inside, and then they stay there. Another ship come over, and they got the soldier on the island, keep us secure with the pirates.
I went to college when I was 16 years old in Vietnam, and I chose architecture. At that time, I didn't think that I would come to the U.S. someday, so obviously did not study English and focus on my architecture career. And at that time, it was a difficult decision for me in particular to go to the U.S. Can you imagine if you are midway or almost finishing your school, and if you move to a different country, no English, no language, fluent, completely strained, no friends, no relatives. That was difficult. We first arrived here. The first thing I realized that it's cold. We came here in the kind of late fall and early winter seasons, and very cold. I remember that.
Yeah, in 1982, that's when they have the new ODP program to be able to transfer all the immigration kids out of the country safely along with their family members. So my mom took advantage of it. Total of 3 people, my mom, myself, and my sister. 3 of us left the country in 1985 safely. When I left Batang, Philippines to come to America, I didn't know exactly which state I'm gonna be in. We didn't know that there was like 50 or so states, in the country, and we ended up in Michigan. That was in November of 1985, and it was cold. The first thing we get off from the flight, we were given jackets. It was really warm, very warm feeling. A few people approaching us, introduce themselves, and they say, "Oh, my name is Pastor David, and I'm from the Hamilton Reformed Church. We would like to welcome you to Michigan." And that's how we were greeted, very friendly, very warm by them. And they brought us back to this place. It's like a home. It's all furniture set up. Everything is ready to move in, like move-in condition. On the table, there was like food. Everything was ready just to make us feel like welcome. It was a wonderful feeling.
When left the refugee camp and come to Grand Rapids in December 1981, and when I get here, the winter is so different with me. I'm homesick because their environment is different from my country. And I wrote letter back and forth. I just say something new about the snow and about the culture, about how live here. And by that time, I go to study English at Conrad School. I go to a grocery store, and I carry 2 bags of their food, and have to walk backwards because so windy and snow. I just walk backwards, and it's not help. And so cold, I got cold that time. Stayed home sick for almost 10 days. To take Tylenol, aspirin, and Tylenol every 4 hours, but just stay home for almost 10 days with the cold.
The winter was difficult. Didn't have enough shoes or clothes or coat, so my parents had to take plastic bags and wrap our feet, and then put our sandals on, and then after that we had to go to school, walked the snow to go to school.
So the first day I go to school, it's snowing, and I wear the boot and I wear the red. And I remember he say, if the bird number 4, they have a number 4, and you get in that one. And I saw the bird. I said, oh, so good. I'm so happy. The bird coming. And when the bird coming, the snow cover the number. Oh my goodness! I didn't know what is the number. So I just look like number 4, look like number 5. So they just stop and they look at me. I look at them. So I don't know. I just stand there. He asking me, and I cannot, understand, what the guy talking about. And the bird going, so I start nervous. And the second bird coming is number 6. I say, nah, not this one. Let it go. And the next bird coming, the same thing. The snow cover the whole funnel. And they keep asking me. I say, I don't know. I say, well, I cannot make the people waiting for me. They just open the door. I jump in. I'm so scary. I jump in, but I don't know where I'm going. But I'm lucky and jump in. I found the number in the bird. So it's number 4. Oh, thanks God. I got the right one.
When we were sponsored by one Christian Reformed church in Holland, every Sunday they would convince us to go to church twice. And we obliged. We went along, and there were certain good things that we saw and certain dogmatic kind of things that we didn't believe in. They did convince us, the church that sponsored us, did try to convince us to join. And the answer was, we will join you when we're good and ready. We don't want a fake religion, and you don't want people who join hastily without really believing.
English was kind of hard for me. I was always behind, couldn't understand what the teachers were saying. Getting C's and D's was hard for me because my parents expect the best, and they expect their kids to, do really good in school. I wasn't.
But there was a group of kids that just didn't have to think about any of us, There were maybe a handful of Vietnamese students in there. And at one time, one kid told me to just go home. It's their school, not my school. So I had to put up with that.
Most of us is do like a busboy in the restaurant or washing the dishes. That time is the most, difficult for me. My family, they need my help, so I have to study, and I have to work to save the money to send for my family, to help them a little bit. I washing the dishes until almost over 2 a.m., around between 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. in the morning. And I just walk home because I don't have a car. Cost me like about almost 45 an hour to walk back there. In the middle, between, they have a little park. I just live there for save for my time. Because if I walk back in my apartment, so early in the morning, I have to walk back to downtown again for my school. So I decide sleep right in the stone bench at the park. And one night, I heard a sound, kick in my body. One police officer, he stand right in my face. You cannot sleep over here. This is the law. I say, okay. So I have to go home. And he very nice. He say, okay, can I give you a ride? I say, thank you. And he ride me home. But I supposed to happy, but no, I'm not happy. He ride me home. So early in the morning, I told him, now you ride me home, and I just have another hour. So I cannot sleep, and I have to ready and take a shower and to get back into school.
My mom worked 2 jobs, 18-hour, pretty much 17, 18 hours days, and provided for the 7 of us. Because my dad, he broke his leg just a little bit prior to coming. He had another re-injury to the leg. So he basically stayed home and cooked and was the parent who provided food for us. So she worked at the restaurant for, 8 years. And then she found that she knew quite a bit of skills. So she told my dad we needed to open up a small business restaurant to give our family a little bit more income. So they searched, they found her a small place. It's like a mama papa kind of small little sit-down restaurant. My dad was the main cook. He's such a great cook. I love his food. My mother is the main prep person for the kitchen. My two oldest sisters ran the front where they were waitressing and cashiers. We didn't hire anybody at the first because we couldn't afford to hire anybody.
Just write a letter back and forth all the time. But that time they don't allow to no telephone, just a letter. And one time I heard now we can talk over the phone, but not here in the United States, in Canada. And I so excited. That is 1989. 8 years I haven't heard or talked with the family at all. And I so excited that I know it's expensive, but I go out there Canada. But that time I talked to my wife, my father, the two other places in Vietnam. It's over 3 hours, and pay for like 240 Canadian per hour. But by that time I worked it's like more than my whole month's salary. But I'm so happy to call a talk at that time.
When I come to the U.S., is language is my second language. I cannot continue my dream. I don't think so. I have a lot of friends from a refugee camp. They call me, so they say, "Kid, come to California because I know your dream is entertainment over here. Have more change for you, But I love to, but I scared."
Reunion. That's very very happy to get my family back together, because in the 12 years without them, I never got one night's sleep all night long. Every night get up from 2 to 4 or until I'm tired and go back to sleep, and next day go work again. Just wonder what my boy doing, what my daughter doing home, and what my wife doing, and some those things just around and around my mind. Could not sleep for 12 years like that. And after they came here, and they disappear, and I sleep well that time.
The people here in West Michigan, they're really helpful. I have one of my really old friends, and later I call them my stepfather or stepmom in Muskegon. They even took me to their house, let me stay during the weekdays, and that's where I learning English. They taught me how to speak, how to communicate, in addition to my college. Looking back those years, I do believe that this makes a big difference. It set a solid foundation where I am today, how to treat people, and how to live, basically. And I still remember those two people.
I completed high school in top 10, believe it or not. I struggled so hard. Every day when I go to school, I carry a dictionary, a hand dictionary with me every single class where I go to. Ordinary kids spend like an hour a day or 2 hours a day do homework. I had to do 2 times or even triple times to be able to complete the same homework. And when I graduate in the top 10 with honor, I feel so proud. My mom especially, she was so happy seeing me achieve that.
Bây giờ tôi có một cái đại gia đình lận. 3 trai, 3 gái, 3 dâu, 3 rể. Nội ngoại là 12. Mỗi lần đốt nhang cho anh thì tôi vẫn còn đau lắm cô. Nhưng mà cái niềm vui của tôi hiện tại đó là nhìn các con, các cháu nó nên người. Và tôi hy vọng là các cháu tôi sẽ Nó học rất giỏi.
When we first came here, and my father, he had chest pain. And when I woke up that the first night, the first morning in the U.S., I'm really thankful to the hospital. So a couple months later, when I am able to speak a little bit English, I volunteer to work there at the emergency department at Holland Hospital. But I love architecture, so I continue that dream. In between those years, I continue to volunteer at the hospital, and that's how I get exposed to healthcare. And then someday I decided, okay, let's go for it. I quit my job, and I went back to school, get a second degree in biomedical science, and then applied to medical school. It was actually difficult too, because I have to work full-time as a medical interpreter via telephone to make a living, and then applying to medical school, and then going to school full-time to get my pre-medical educations.
What is quintessentially American? Well, of course, we know and we've heard that America is a melting pot. But it's really more a salad, a tossed salad, right? So to me, it really is just everyone's different backgrounds and experience and culture being mixed together, because we're all immigrants in this country other than the natives, Native Americans, right? So to be American, it's really to just be anyone that is patriotic, that has a passion for rich culture, that is also someone that loves their country. So to me, it's not you love baseball, or you gotta love peanut butter to be American, or you have to be white. It's anyone.
So, but I still have my dream. I served for a Vietnamese community over here for over 30 years. And I do some event, I make a play, so at the festival, Vietnamese festival or Vietnamese New Year. That's the way I do. I love it. And the people, they know me, so they book me for the, they call the master ceremony, MC, for the event. I make the MC for the wedding every weekend. And now I have more, and they know me more, and they book me to MC for the event concert for the casino. I go to Texas, California, Indiana, Chicago. I do all the concert right now.
And this country treat me good. I got an opportunity to work and earn with my skill, and I work for long hours and I earn more. Yeah, I got nothing make me sad at all. I'm so happy here. Now even tell me to go back to my homeland and live, I don't think so. This is my homeland here.
Yes, I feel here as much home, because when I go work, when I come home, I don't worry about somebody gonna knock at my door and say, can you show me your registration? Can you show me whether you are like a permanent resident here? Because in Vietnam, they'll come and knock at your door sometime in the middle of the night.
Việc đầu tiên tôi muốn nói cho mọi người biết là trên cuộc sống này không có gì quý bằng tự do dân chủ cả. Một con người có sống tự do, có dân chủ, nhân quyền thì cuộc đời thì nó mới có thể hạnh phúc được.
Being welcomed here in the U.S. is probably one of the best things that ever happened to my family. Being in Vietnam, we don't have a lot, and it's a hard life. Here in the U.S., we struggle as well, but we always know that America is a land of the free, land of opportunities, and being able to be here, even though, as an immigrant, being able to come here and finally be a U.S. citizen or be an American or feel like I'm an American, it wouldn't have happened if Americans didn't accept us in.
We seem to forget that we all come from different parts of the world, and that's how America is strong.
So, to all the non refugees, non immigrants that would be watching, have compassion. It's not easy to leave everything behind and to move into a brand new community where you're not familiar with the culture, the language, where to get your hair cut, where to buy your food that you're familiar with. So have compassion, show understanding and care, and be curious, but also know that if we don't respond right away, it's not because we don't want to. It's that we have to be comfortable with ourselves in this new environment.
Chiều nào có nắng vàng hiền hòa, sưởi ấm nơi nơi. Người ơi, chiều nào có thu về cho tôi nhạt lá thu rơi. Tình có ghi lên đôi môi, sầu có phai nhòa cuộc đời. Người vẫn thương yêu loài người và yên vui sống cuộc sống vui. Đời em như tiếng hát của lứa đôi. Đời em như tiếng hát